Hello, Snakes. My name is Dante, and today it is Podcast Tuesday once again. And yeah, it's very cool. So this is an interesting podcast. We're going to be talking about mini games, not cards, but mini games, and yeah, it's just this is an interesting one, a different one because it's basically uh because we're talking about we are talking about mini games. So basically, we got combo and a non-bo. I mean, clarification that this is not a combo and a non-infinite combo, but basically, but we're going to explain step by step, all these different mini games and yeah, it's just and it's actually really cool. We got some nice mini games. You can play those with friends. You can use um you use set boosters to play these mini games, and I think you can play them with any set, honestly. So yeah, uh, yeah. So yeah, it's just really cool, and we got so let's just start with the infinite combo first, and it is. Well, we got Scurry Oak, Cleric class, an Inspiring Commander, allowing you to draw your entire deck. I mean, you actually can stop it if you want by putting the counter on the Inspiring Commander, not on the Scurry Oak. You need Cleric class at level 2, though, for this combo to work. So, yeah. So yeah, it's just basically you have Cleric class on level 2. Inspiring Commander. So something with power 2 or less enters. You gain 2 life, draw a card. You gain 3 life, put some counter on Scurry Oak. Plus some counters put on Scurry Oak. A squirrel enters the battlefield. Squirrel enters the battlefield. You gain 2 life and draw a card, giving you life until you choose to stop. 2 life for each card you draw. Draw until you run out of cards in the deck. I mean, you can stop it if you want by putting the counter on Inspiring Commander. And you get that many squirrels as well. So yeah, just it's just really cool. Let's just go to our non-bow. It is the non-bow. We got Sixth Sense and Nifmis the Firemind. Now this is similar to the last combo. I mean, where Nifmis Perun and the Sea Dasher Octopus, which I saw on the combos website, but that's not an infinite combo. That actually does not work because only happens with because that was with combat damage. Now, Sixth Sense is similar to Sea Dasher Octopus and the ability it does, but actually it's much better. Like it's but basically, I think it was Keen Sense, the name of the card. I mean, was much better than than and 6 cents. Yeah, of course, yeah, but basically that's not a combo. I mean, just want to clarify that if you're trying this combo for a commander deck, don't, because it doesn't work. So yeah, that's basically our non-bow. Now it's time for mini game number 10. Let's start off with Dominarios. Now this is a solo game you can play by yourself in 5 minutes. Now, the ancient Dominaria, Urza and Sarah would play Dominarios to pass the time. Connect all cards in the most condensed way possible. So basically what you do, first of all, you open the set booster. Remove all basic lands, ads, and tokens. Now, I mean, if you get the list card, you can keep it in there, but basically, let's play. Place a card face up to start the game. Now, that card is now in play. And basically, so yeah, you basically start out. So, you place a card. Like, let's just give a random example. So we go to gather, you can randomize a card. You know what, let's just search goblin. Goblin. Alright. Oh. Okay. Let's start with Adderstaff Bogart. That's basically our example card. So, you place Adderstaff Bogart in play. Now, basically, to connect the left with a left, it needs to match the card type. So, you need to put a creature to the left of the Bogart. Now basically, now there's also, and then it's from top to top, it has to match the starting letter. The starting, so basically, well, let's just say, so to connect Adderstaff Bogart, you will need to connect on the you can connect Fortnite Trio to the left of it, as an example. Apparently they're being Lorwyn, both for Lorwyn cards for some reason, but yeah, to the top, you will need to connect something that starts with the letter A. So Adderstaff Bogart is, well, A. So to connect Adderstaff Bogart, let's just we just search up something, just a random Ardwolf's Advantage, as an example, that uses of a card that uses letter A. Now to the right, you need to connect a card with the same MV. Adderstaff Bogart had MV2, so you can basically, well, connect it in a hypothetical back. You can just connect it with with Fort Vessel. That's just another hypothetical card, you know, Fort Vessel. And now to the bottom, you have to match the color. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And then there's also yeah. Oh, that's only a commander card? I'm actually surprised, but yeah. Who else was, but yeah, basically you can continuously keep on connecting cards and to the left, to the right, but then you have to, like, if you connect, like, for example, Fort Vessel, is the bottom because it matches. No, wait, no, it has to no. Sorry, MV is so fort vessel to the right, and to the bottom you have to connect something like Goblin Trash Master as an example because it's red. Well, to the right you have to match MV and color. So if it's a colorless card, so wait, no, hang on, can you match? Let's just say you can match colors because in reality it's a single player game. So yeah, the rules are more or less up to you. You can so if you play with colorless, so like you've used so some artifact, I mean you put it have to match, both. So yeah, and basically the game will end. So basically, depending on once you put all those cards, or once you cannot put any more, you will get a scoring to determine what you got. So basically, you gotta see how long the board is and how wide the board is. So basically, if you put so many cards in a single line, that's not really gonna help. But if you put a lot of cards, but if you split up and if you instead of doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and or more or less dividing them. You take the width, the width or the length, whichever is longer. Add the amount of unplaced cards you have, and get a scoring. You get 5 or less, you get Planeswalker, which is a perfect score. A 6 is a Wizard, which is an intermediate score. 7 or more is Goblin, which is just a bad score, or more or less. I mean, Goblin is just, the worst score, but there we go, Dominarios. That is the first minigame of the day. Now, number 9. Booster Sleuth. Now, this is a game you can play with one other person, so 2 players. Game can be completed in 10 minutes, and it is done with 2 packs. Unlike Jace, not all of us can rely on telepathy to solve a mystery. Using other cards as clues, discover all the facts about your opponent's mystery card. So this is similar to like a Guess Who kind of thing, but with packs. So, randomly determine who goes first. That player is the Secret Keeper, and the other one is the Detective. So, first the Secret Keeper opens a pack and removes any lands and cards without magic card backs, which are basically tokens, transform cards, because this was... Oh, no, this was Strixhaven, never mind. No, yeah, Strixhaven had the flip cards. Yeah, you're right. Next, they shuffle the remaining cards and pick one at random. That card is the mystery card. Finally, the Secret Keeper gives the detectives the rest of the cards, and the game begins. So, the detective must correctly guess 4 facts about the mystery card. Basically, mana value, color, card type, and the number of words in the name. Apparently, that's the thing. Yeah. But yeah. So, yeah, you need to guess. You don't need to guess the name of the card. You just guess the MV, the color, the card type, and words. But yeah. To do this, they choose and review cards one at a time. So when each card is revealed, Secret Keeper tells the detective how many of the 4 facts that card and the mystery card have in common. And then the detective may either guess the 4 facts or just review another card to get more clues. But the detective gets only 1 guess and must guess all 4 facts correctly to win. Once the detective has guessed, the round ends and the player switch roles with a new pack. And basically, the winner is whoever used the fewer cards to guess the card. But if it's a tie or no one was able to get it, try again get 2 more packs. But alright. So basically, you can try so yeah, basically yeah, you only get like one guess, because if you fail to guess, then you miss. But if you get correctly, you win. And the amount of cards used is, well, the amount of cards used. So yeah, but you need to use the less cards to win if the opponent also gets it. But considering this is quite the hard mini game, and I mean it looks hard, then I'd say if you manage to guess it, then congratulations. But still, that's number 9. Let's go to our number 8 mini game. It is alright. Foraging squirrels. This can be played with between 2 to 4 players with 2 packs in 5 minutes. So in this game you're a squirrel. And that's great because squirrels are cool. But you need to collect food for the winter along with the rest of the squirrels. But you're competing for that food. Time for a scramble. And well, what do? Open both packs. Remove all the cards without magic card packs. Select one art card and shuffle it in with the rest of the cards. So yeah, because you're gonna get 2 art cards. This is with set. These games are played with set boosters, by the way. In case you didn't know, you played with set boosters, not with draft boosters. And you select an art card, shuffle it with the rest of the cards, which represents the food. Deal the cards face up in a 5x5 grid. So you got 24 cards. No, you get 24 cards plus the art card that makes 25. Randomly determine who goes first. So basically, on your turn, you choose a color. Colorless is a color when it comes to mini games. So yeah, you can choose a color, move the art card either vertically or horizontally on the grid, skipping empty spaces, and collecting each card in your path that matches your chosen color. Lands are colorless. Don't go with the basic land type. The art card only moves in one direction per turn, and it stops moving when it reaches the edge of the grid or if the next card in that direction doesn't match your chosen color. Replaces the last card collected, leaving empty spaces where any previously collected cards were. Then play passes to the next player. And after the first player takes a turn, each other player can dig once per game, moving a card to an empty space before or moving the art card on their turn. And you basically do this all the way until the amount of cards, it runs out of cards. So basically, you get a point for each card you collect. But then there's also achievements for... there's also 1 point you get for each achievement you accomplish, which there are 4 achievements. There is... most foils. Well, foils, there's gonna be like... if you're using, it's used 2 packs, so yeah, you're gonna get like 2 foils, but I mean, you could get basic lands foil, so that's up to 4 foils, but yeah. Most rares in mythics. That is, that can vary, because in set boosters you can get up to 4 rares. I mean, you could also, some of them have 5. And the Dungeons and Dragons ones can have up to 7, but those have 15 cards. So yeah, don't try using this. Most unique colors, including colorless, and most cards of squirrels in the art. Because, well, this released in MH2, and MH2 had a theme of squirrels, so yeah. This is mostly played with MH2 booster packs, but in reality, I think you can play any minigame with any pack. I may be wrong, but still, this is a really cool minigame you can try with friends. Number 7. It is Day versus Night. 2 players and 2 packs, done in 5 minutes. Become a defender of the day or monster of the night in this rock, paper, scissors style game. So maybe this is like rock, paper, wizard, but I'm not sure because I haven't played rock, paper, wizard. But I mean, it by the title of the game that I don't know. This is like it's like it's basically one of those like one color beats another and then like loses to another, but basically. But yeah, basically, players look at their hands, pick 3 cards, and then place their picked cards in a face down row in front of their opponent's row. Players reveal the pairs of cards from day's player left to right simultaneously. Winning cards are decided as follows. So, basically there's so yeah, what you do is so it's 3 rounds. And basically, so you place 3 cards down, face down, and the opponent plays 3 cards down, face up, and 1, 2, 3 reveal. So how this works? If a red beats green. So if there's a red card, if you have a red card and your opponent has a green card, you win because you have the red card. But then if you have a blue card and the opponent has a green card in that slot, you lose because the opponent has a green card. I mean, so basically, and but then if you have a blue card and the opponent has a red card, you win. But then there's a thing. If you are the day player, because one player chooses day and one chooses night, then all your white cards are insta wins, and your black cards are insta losses. And for the dark player, for the night player is vice versa. So, yeah. If it's a red versus red, it's a tie. Green v green is a tie. Blue v blue is a tie. Winning white versus winning black is a tie. Losing white versus losing black is also a tie. Winning white obviously beats a losing white, and a winning black will beat a losing black, obviously. So, yeah. But basically, but then there's also special rules. If you place down a multicolored, there are some bonuses you can try. Multicolored and colorless cards with. Oh, also you have to remove cards without magic back. So basically tokens, transforms. So yeah, but basically, but yeah, what I was saying is that with but like with multicolored, you can choose from one color or the other. So if you have a red blue card, you can basically choose what to use it depending on the opponent. So if the opponent is using a red card, select blue and you win. If the opponent's using a blue card, select blue and it's a tie. And if your opponent has a green card, select red and you win. So yeah, and then there's colorless. Colorless. Oh, also but then if your opponent has a winning white, then yeah, or a winning black, then yeah, you're screwed. But then there's also the losing one. But yeah, basically, but then colorless, we place a land or artifact or something. You can basically replace it with another card from your hand. So you see like, oh, it's a red card. I throw my blue card. I get the free win. And then oh darn! Opponent put down their winning knight card. Screw this! I'm throwing my black card away. And because black card, if you're the day player, black cards are useless for you. And if you're the night player, then white cards are useless for you. Play two more after all pairs are revealed, Each player sets aside their winning cards into their own pile and returns all of their losing and tie cards to their hand. Wait, what? Okay, yeah, that's... Wait. Play two more rounds. For the third round, players lay down 6 cards. The player has fewer than 6 cards for the third round. Player with the same number of cards as the player of the least, discarding the extras. The player of the most winning... What? Did not notice it until now. Apparently there's 3 ends on the winning. The player of the most winning cards after 3 rounds wins. Yeah. So... But yeah, basically, but yeah, it's basically it's basically a cool one you can try. This was released with the Midnight Hunt, with all the werewolves and vampires and stuff. But yeah, so it's 987. Let's go to our number 6 minigame, and it is. Have you ever played Tetsu? Or have you ever played a version of the Rory Story Cubes? Well, basically, this is a similar one. You can play it on your own, or you can play with up to 6 players. Like 1 to 6 players. So yeah, and you're to just end 1 or more packs in 10 minutes. So basically, this game is just go ahead and create your own story with cards, with boosters. So, with Rory's Story Cube, it's basically you roll the dice and make a story. And Texas Zombies is basically you have a card, and there's a card. Like basically some curse or something, and a weapon, and a story on how you escaped that curse or whatever it was with that weapon. Or I mean, it could be a curse. It could be an enemy or something. That's like, but yeah, that's basically. Well, this is just into the story, and that's the horror edition. But yeah, basically. So open a booster for each player. So 1 player is 1 pack, but then if you got 6 players, you get 6 packs. So yeah, open a booster for each player and remove any add token and art cards. And sort the cards into separate piles for double-faced cards, single-sided creature and planeswalker cards, land cards, and all other non-creature cards. shuffle the piles, and place each of them face down. So, let's start with, so go through the beats of the story below in order, revealing a card from the top of the specified pile or taking a specified action. Tell a story to go. After a player um, after a player tells a bit of the story for a beat, it is the next player's turn for a next story for a beat, and then the next player's turn for the next story for the next story beat. If there are no cards of the requested type, players can make something up. Yeah. So where it's set, it's set in the land. Well, I think this is played with like Innistrad packs, but yeah. But basically, this is set in a land. So this could be set in an island. This could be set in a forest. This could be set in Valakut. Just to give an example, yeah. Now, the characters are free creatures or planeswalkers. So you can, so you got Arlen Cord, and you also got Audric, and then you also got let's just say, for example, like Audric, Arlen Cord, and what else is there in Innistrad? A cool creature. Oh, Fairwind Inspector, just as an example. I mean, I know that they're not from the same set, but there are multiple cards there, but free creatures. Alright. Why they're at the location? Well, they're there because let me just, let's just say so if we got something from, wait, we go gather. We just search Innistrad Crimson Vault Commander, an example. They are there because of an ancient craving. Okay. So they are craving something ancient. Okay. And the monster they face is Delver of Secrets. Or Insectile Aberration. So, the action. The characters made a critical mistake. They tried to cast this. They tried to fireball it. Or I mean, or no, that's just, Audric tries to hit it, cut its wings with his sword. It gets negated. So that's first one to die is Fairwind Inspector because, well, yeah, Fairwind Inspector is the first one to die. The monster kills the Fairwind Inspector with a Languish. That's just an example. The hero is Arlen. And the weakness of the monster is just let me just the weakness is Bounding Wolf. So that's just so yeah, basically a wolf is a weakness. And well, Arlen discovers it by calling up a wolf to basically help or something. I don't know. Resolution confronting the monster. You got so you go and with hmm, let me just check. What's with an epic confrontation? That could be one. Or and the lone survivor is Odric. Arlen doesn't end up hitting the insectile aberration, and the insectile aberration flew away with Arlen, uh, and Arlen ends up being a test subject for the aberrant inspector. Just, and this is just some alternate ending where Arlen ends up being an insect werewolf or something, but yeah, that's just a random thing I just made up recently. Well, this is how the game goes. Now, after the stories have all been told, you assign the following awards by popular vote to players: scariest, funniest, and most exciting. And also make up your own awards as well, like coldest stories, or like even like best ending. But then if there's a tie, vote for a winner of an award, randomly determine its winner. So how you like the story? I may not be the best, but I just made it up recently. Anyways, let's just go in to the next one. We got our number 5, and it is Wait, hang on, never mind. Wait, what? Oh yeah. This is meant to be base race. Sorry, not my bad. So you play this 2 players and free packs. This is done in 10 minutes. Wait, hang on. How long this is? Oh, 10 minutes. Okay. The objective is to bow your way through opponents' defenses to find their base camp before they find yours. So basically, a tower defense game, kind of like those, kind of like Bed Wars or something like that. But yeah, open 3 packs and give 1 land to each player. Then remove any remaining land cards and cards without magic packs. Shuffle the remaining cards and deal 11 cards to each player. Each player then looks at their cards and arranges them face down in a 4x3 grid opposite their opponent. The completed play area should be 4x6 with no extra spaces. The first player to finish their grid goes first. So yeah, there is an advantage for basically being the fastest one. On their turn, each player moves one of their cards 1 space either vertically or horizontally, but not diagonally, and not onto space occupied by another card they own. You can use your turn to move a card safely onto an empty space. Moving a card onto a space occupied by an opponent's card, start a battle. Reveal both cards and do the following for each card type. If both are creatures, artifact creatures, or vehicles, higher toughness stays, and the loser and remains face up. The loser is discarded. If they tie, the attacker wins. So, not power, toughness. And the attacker always has an advantage. Legendary creatures and planeswalkers win against non-legendary creatures, but when they battle each other, the highest toughness or loyalty wins. Also, attacker has advantage in this case scenario. If either of the cards are instants, sorceries, or enchantments, discard both reveal cards. Other effects still have it. If one of the cards was an artifact, the player who owns it discards it and takes an extra turn. But if both were artifacts, only the attacker gets the extra turn. So you can just continue like rampaging and stuff. But when a land is revealed in battle, its owner loses the game. When one land attacks another, the attacking land wins the game. So yeah, basically but yeah, basically you hide the land somewhere, and the opponent has to try and go get it. But then you also have to try and get their land. This is played with, so yeah, really cool. Doesn't matter which pack you're opening, this will work. Now it's time for number 4, and it is your demons do. With 2 or more players in 1 pack per player. There's no limit. 10 minutes. As a member of the new crime family, you make a name for yourself by showing off your ill-gotten profits. But keep in mind, the most valuable trinkets go directly into the mob boss's pockets. So, first of all, each player declares allegiance to a crime family. So you got Obscura, Maestros, the Riveteers, the Carati, and the Brokers. Alright, I'm going Obscura. Let's just say, for example, each player opens a booster. So it has to be, this is, with new Capenna cards only. So, yeah. Because obviously, there's no... Actually, wait, hang on. You could... No, wait, never mind. They're not out. I mean, this is the only, because... Oh, no, wait. Strixhaven. You could do this, but with Strixhavens, instead of, with Strixhaven, houses, but not with, instead of, crime families. But, yeah. But basically, each player draws until they have 4 cards, because because your pack is your deck. Then players place 2 cards from their hand face down in front of them as profit. And when finished, all players simultaneously reveal the profit cards and add together the mana values of their own cards. Now, the player or players that reviewed the highest mana cost lose their profit. That goes to the boss. But if any player's boss payment includes a land, that player instead places the land in their bank to be counted later. You keep the land. It's basically like your property. Don't worry. Now each other player puts both their cards into their bank to be counted later. Now, after 5 rounds, discard any remaining card. And each player totals the mana values in their bank and earns that many points. So basically, you need mana costs to get points. But also, at the same time, you gotta avoid dropping the highest cost, or you lose it. But lands are 3 points, and if you chose Obscure, for example, you get an Obscure card, Rafine, for example, then, well, you get bonus 2 points, because it's part of your watermark. So the most points wins. Ties are shared. That's basically number 4 minigame. Played with new Capenna packs. Let's see who gets that Ledger Shredder. Number 3. And it is... Winchester Draft. That is played with 2 players and just, well, any pack. You need 6 packs, basic lands, and 30 minutes. Probably the longest minigame or something. Maybe longest or one of the longest. Because this is actually an actual Magic game. Not one of those, not a different game played with Magic cards. Played with 6 packs. Now, this is like a draft you can do with one other person because, well, honestly, drafts are best done with 6 players or 8 players. I mean, you could do a 10-player draft, but Honestly, I don't really like 10-player drafts. But basically, you can also do this with. But there's a draft you can do with one other player because sometimes me and my dad we basically do practice drafts or sealed. We just open up a few packs for the camera and then you use those cards later on to play with each other. I mean, in the past I actually recorded some of those pack wars and sealed games, but now we do it off camera. So yeah, we play those games off camera, but still it's really fun, like. So basically, you open 6 packs, remove all the basic lands, adds, and tokens, and shuffle the remaining cards together into a stack without looking at them. Place the stack face down, and then place the top 4 cards of the stack in. Place each one face up to create the beginnings of 4 separate piles. Randomly determine who drafts first. First player to draft chooses one of the 4 color piles, one of 4 piles, and adds it to the draft pool. Place a new card from the stack onto each pile, including the empty spot. Then it's the next player's turn to draft. They also draft the entire pile and then adds a new card to the pile. So basically, just 4, you pick one, but then there's like 1, but then there's also 2, and then you maybe take the 2, but this 1 is a really powerful card. I want to build around it. Take this one, and then there's like 3, and then it turns until all the cards have been drafted. When drafting is done, each player builds a 40-card deck from their draft pool and using basic lands. Randomly determine who goes first and play a game of Magic. Best of 3 with infinite sideboard, with a sideboard being the rest of the pool. And the player who wins the best of 3 wins. Basically, a classic draft. Classic Magic, but drafted differently. This is Winchester Draft. Number 2. We got another classic minigame introduced before set booster minigames. And we have Booster Blitz or Mini Master. This was introduced in basically GPs. You can see them in GPs, Magic Fest and stuff. And well, you play this 2 players in 2 packs, 10 minutes. Best your opponent in a series of fast Magic games using only the cards in a single pack. So open a pack, make 4 face down piles of 3 cards using the Magic cards inside, but players make their piles with the goal of winning a series of Magic games with these modified rules. Players start 5 life, have infinite mana, and cannot lose by drawing from an empty library. Randomly determine who goes first. Each player chooses which pile the opponent will use for each round. Then both players draw all 3 of their cards and play a game of Magic. When a player loses a game, they get to go first in the next game. First player to win 2 games wins the match. So there is one deck that you will not use at all. But yeah, basically that's Booster Blitz for you. Now it's time for number 1. And it is look at us! We're R&D, 3 or more players, 1 pack, 10 minutes, and pen and paper. It's time to make our own Magic cards. Open a booster, remove all non-Magic cards, and shuffle the rest. Have 1 player be an artist, and another be a writer, and then the remaining players will be designers. The designers take turns filling out the different parts of a card with a pen and paper. To determine these, they draw a random card from the pack, pick one of their categories, and copy it from the card. If it's missing the category you want, draw another. The designers continue until these are all filled in. Casting cost, card type, card test, power, and toughness. if the card has a type that requires it. So, for example, the first card is, let's just say, Questing Beast as an example. This is a 4 mana 4/4 legendary creature, beast, and it's a and basically, it has the text. And so let's just say, for example, so all right, let's take 4 mana. The next card is an enchantment, Ristic Study. All right. So you can take the enchantments type, or or basically the so and then there's also, so yeah, basically take the text from it. Next card is, what is this? A Soul Ring. All right. Now you got to take Artifact because it's not a creature and it doesn't have a power and toughness. So you take, or I mean, if you want to make a creature, you can actually make a creature and give it a power and toughness. Next one will be a creature, but yeah, let's just make it an artifact, because if it's missing a category like power and toughness or something, you can make it up. And then the next is the artist draws up the card. I don't know how to draw, so but yeah, they draw up the card of what it could look like, and the designer writes the name and a flavor test for the card. You get with you get with Wild Chance. That's just a random name. 2 mana, 2 and 2 green, so 4 mana in artifact. When opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1 mana. Taking the test from Ristic Study, card type from Soul Ring, and the mana cost from Questing Beast. The flavor test would be, in the wild, one must be lucky to survive. Alright. But yeah, anyways, Discord link in the description. Join up and share me in the General channel some cool cards you've made in this mini game. Also, once each player had a chance to play each role, so designer, artist, and writer, then present your created cards. Players vote to nominate their favorites for the following categories: most powerful, least functional, and most flavorful. But yeah, congratulations! You've reached the end of the podcast. So why don't you like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter, share friends, stay tuned to videos, streams, and podcasts. Podcasts will be live every Tuesday at 4:30 GMT. So stay tuned to them, watch my other videos too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye.